your body could talk, what do you think it'd say before it shuts you down? Would it whisper in your ear to slow down? Would it beg for you to push through that final deadline? Would it scream for a break? Or is it too late? Hi, my name is Tahi Patel, and I'm a sophomore here at Carrollwood Day School. I'm a student athlete who plays volleyball. Like most athletes, I thought that pushing through pain was normal, and I convinced myself that exhaustion was just part of being strong. And that's when I learned what burnout really is. Burnout isn't just feeling tired. It's when your exhaustion takes over. When your body, mind, and motivation all fail simultaneously. You start to second guess yourself, thinking you're lazy or not trying hard enough. But in reality, you are completely drained. And no, I don't mean the staying up till 2 a.m. watching Netflix kind of tired. I mean the exhaustion that you feel even after sleeping for 8 hours. You start zoning out in class, forgetting things, snapping at people for no reason, and trying to convince yourself that you're fine, but you're not. You run on coffee as if it's food, thinking burnout can't affect you because you're young. And I hate to break it to you, but you're wrong. Anthony Montgomery, who is an organizational psychologist from Northumbria University in the UK, says, "I think part of the confusion for the public is that burnout is something we can't medically diagnose. Here's the thing about burnout. It doesn't just randomly show up. It quietly builds up and affects you quicker than you may realize. Fatigue, headaches, mood swings, and a constant feeling that you're behind, even though you're not. You tell yourself you need better time management, but no planner will ever help you dictate your body's exhaustion. We live in a world that celebrates pushing through pain and ignoring the body's red flags in pursuit of just one thing: success. This year's theme is risk takers, but here's the truth. Real risk takers aren't the ones who push themselves to the edge. They're the ones who stop, rethink, and protect the most overlooked part of their success: the nervous system. People who are affected by burnout don't recognize the changes that their body slowly faces, and they continue to let their symptoms worsen. Burnout isn't a disease. Instead, it's your body's way of saying, hey, let's not do everything all at once. It's a slow buildup of stressors that begin to appear after dealing with constant stress, typically along the lines of, I'm so tired, or I want to go home, I miss my bed. But burnout doesn't look the same for everybody. For me, and many more people than you may think, it's more literal. One day, I got home from school. I was tired, cranky, and insufferable. My mom glares at me, and the first thing she says is, Tahi, your blood pressure's low. I look at her like she's crazy. I roll my eyes, insisting, Mom, I am just tired. And I storm into my room. There, I slept for 3 hours. And when I finally stood up for dinner, the world didn't stand up with me. My vision went black, the sounds faded, and my legs gave out. I fell back onto my bed, patiently waiting for my senses to come back. And as I slowly came back to reality, I remember sitting there, completely still, afraid to move. My hands were cold, my ears were ringing, and I felt like I was frozen. And the crazy part, my first thought wasn't, I need help. It was, whatever, I probably just stood up too fast. I was so used to pushing through everything that even fainting felt like something I could just shake off. Even fainting felt like something I could just shake off. My mom knocks on my door again, asking why I wasn't coming to dinner, and I remember hesitating, not because I didn't want to eat, but because I was embarrassed. I didn't want to look weak. Looking back, that moment was a warning. It was my nervous system screaming at me, saying, if you don't slow down, I will do it for you. I've experienced something called vasovagal syncope. Yeah, I know, it's a big word, but really, it's such a simple concept. It's where your body reacts so strongly to a certain trigger that it leads you to faint. For me, that trigger is perpetual low blood pressure. Believe it or not, even though 1/3 of the population has had at least one episode of syncope in their entire life, most people have never even heard of it. But burnout doesn't look the same for everyone. For athletes, it's often hidden behind the words, I'm just sore, I'll tape it, or coach, I can still play. Missed plays, feeling slower, or even resenting the sport that you once loved. Athletes train harder, thinking that'll fix it. But in reality, your body is begging for rest, not another rep. For students, it's that nonstop expectation to get all A's or meet every single deadline. Your brain is working on overtime while your body is running on incline, trying to catch up. And the scary part? This doesn't stop when you become an adult. According to a study done by Mayo Clinic, there's a type of burnout commonly known as job burnout. Most people think that this is due to stress, but actually, most adults acquire this due to lack of control, lack of support, and increased competition. In fact, 77% of adults are reported to have job burnout, and 41% have left their job as a result of this. It is so important to be able to understand what triggers your burnout early, because burnout is silent but deadly, and no matter how small the symptoms are, they will eventually catch up to you. So, that leads us to wonder, how do you stop it at the root? And really, it's so simple. Listen to your body. Like Zazu from Lion King, always yapping, trying to get Simba's attention. Your body is your own personal Zazu. Fatigue, headaches, it's constantly warning you. And what happens when Zazu flies around you screaming, danger, danger, and you ignore it? Well, let's just say suddenly you're surrounded by hyenas. It's so important to be able to acknowledge what stops your burnout early. Something really important you need is rest. Not the type of rest you think you're getting when you sit in bed all day doing nothing, because trust me, I've fallen into that trap too. Eating full meals, staying hydrated, and giving your body the nutrients you need isn't boring, it's essential. Because at the end of the day, your body won't sit there and negotiate with you. Burnout isn't feeling tired, it's your body's wake-up call, forcing you to stop. From athletes pushing through injuries to students chasing perfection. We live in a world that glorifies overworking, but in the end, success means nothing if your body can't keep up with it. Your body is irreplaceable, so listen to it, because real success begins when you stop surviving and you start healing. Thank you.